Welcome students, this is our video for section 7.3 part A, dealing with rational exponents and radicals. We're going to be switching back and forth between these two forms of writing the same number. So after watching this video, my objective is that you will each be able to convert a number with a rational exponent from exponential form to radical form, and vice versa, convert a number from radical form to exponential form. In short, it should look like this. If you have a number like 8 to the 1/2 power, you should be able to rewrite that as a square root of 8. Similarly, if you have the square root of 19, you can rewrite that as 9 to the 1/2 power. That's what we're doing for this video. Here's the first part. We're taking a number with a rational exponent and making it a radical. So let's say we have 25 to the 1/2 power. I know that kind of looks a little funny. The textbook makes it look a little prettier, but that's the idea. 25 to the 1/2 power. And what that becomes is the second root of 25 to the first power. Okay, so if we look at that carefully, you can kind of see where these numbers are coming from. Okay, the 1 that's at the top in the numerator of the fraction, that becomes the power of the number under the radical sign, which is called the radicand. And the 2 on the bottom, the denominator of the fraction, that becomes what's called the index of the radical. So that's what that little 2 up top stands for. And it just so happens that when you have a 2 for an index and a 1 as a power, we actually don't have to write either one of those. You know how we've talked about how x is 1x? Well, if we have just the radical sign, like we're used to seeing, that means the square root of 25. So if we have a 2 here, that's the same as having the square root. The second root is the square root. And just the same, we would never say 21 to the, or 25 to the first power. It would always be just 25. Okay, there's our first one. Take a moment, try this problem. Okay, now after we've gone from a rational exponent to a radical, we're of course going to have to go backwards from a radical to a rational. So now we have a number like this, the square root of 81. And we're not evaluating it. A lot of you are probably thinking that's just 9, but for right now we're just going to switch the form. So we take the square root of 81 and we're actually going to rewrite it so we can see that invisible index of 2 as well as that invisible power of 1. Because if you remember, those two numbers are going to become our fractions that are going to make up our exponent in the next form. So we're just going to be working backwards from what we did before, and we will take that second root of 81 to the first power and take those two numbers, which are so important, and they are going to become the numerator and denominator of the exponent of our new number. So what happens? That power goes up top, becomes the numerator, and that denominator scoots down to the bottom, becomes the denominator. So we go from the square root of 81, we rethink of that as the second root of 81 to the first power, so that we can easily translate this to 81 to the 1/2 power. And again, that's all it is. So try this practice problem. Now, if you're paying really close attention, you notice that this was labeled as a video for 7.3a. 7.3b will follow shortly. It's just about how to use your calculator to type these numbers in the calculator. It's a very short one. You can follow up with that one. So here's a quick recap of what we covered in this video. And after this, you should be ready to move on. Thank you.